glad to be together in unity. We're so glad you're here. We're so glad you're here. Have you ever had one of those days? Just pray for me, that's all I'm asking. Just a little prayer, please. You ever have one of those days where your emotions seem to be having a board meeting without your permission? You wake up happy, then remember your to-do list, and you get overwhelmed. That ever happened to you? You wake up first thing in the morning, all of a sudden it's like, I've got so much to do. Then you jump out of bed and you stub your toe. Then you feel angry. And then you sit down and read the daily word or some kind of inspiring quote. And you feel a little grateful. It's amazing how much happens before breakfast, isn't it? Well, congratulations then. You're human, right? And today's movie, Inside Out, is a metaphysical love letter to the complexity and the sacredness of our emotional lives. How many understand that you have emotions for a purpose? To emote, or emotion, energy in motion, right? Emotions are important. How many have ever felt love for someone? Have you ever felt blissful? Have you ever felt joy? You ever felt peaceful? You can thank your emotions for that, right? Now, there's some other emotions that we have too, and we're going to be talking about those here in just a moment. But in this movie, we meet an 11-year-old Riley and 5 core emotions inside her mind: joy, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust. Each emotion takes turns at the control panel. Have you noticed that? And helping her to navigate life, decisions, and relationships. So while Riley's family moves to a new city, chaos ensues inside of her emotional world. And joy, sadness get accidentally swept away into the maze of long-term memory. So the journey to restore balance gives us both tears and laughter, and more importantly, a deeper understanding about the soul's journey. So let's take a moment to watch the trailer and see how it...
Get a sense of what it's about.
Yeah.
How many have seen the movie? Okay, a good number of you. All right.
I guess. I don't know. Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
Did you guys pick up on that?
Sure did.
Something's wrong.
We're gonna find out what's happening, but we'll need support. Signal the husband.
With a nice pass over the reed, comes across center ice.
Uh-oh, she's looking at us. What did she say?
What? Oh, sorry, sir. No one was listening.
Is it garbage night? We left the toilet seat up. What? What is it, woman? What?
Signal him again.
So, Riley, how was school?
You gotta be kidding me.
For this, we gave up that Brazilian helicopter pilot?
School was great, all right?
What was that? I thought you said we were gonna act casual.
Riley, is everything okay?
Sir, she just rolled her eyes at us.
All right, make a show of force. I don't want to have to put the foot down.
No, not the foot. Riley, I do not like this new attitude.
Oh, I'll show you attitude, old man. No. Breathe.
What
What is your problem? Just leave me alone.
Sir, reporting high levels of sass.
Take it to DEFCON 2.
DEFCON 2.
I don't know where this disrespectful attitude came from.
You want a piece of this, Pops?
Yeah, well, look.
Prepare the foot.
Keys to safety position. Ready to launch on your command, sir.
Just shut up!
Fire!
That's it. Go to your room.
The foot is down. The foot is down.
Good job, gentlemen. That could have been a disaster.
Well, that was a disaster.
Come, fly with me, Cachinha.
All right.
I can identify with all of that going on in my head. How about you? Yeah? Oh my goodness. It is a really adorable movie. If you've not seen it, do yourself a favor. It's really, yes, the kids are doing their lesson this morning on this same movie, so it is a kids' movie, but there's so much that you adults will get out of it. It's really good. So we're going to begin this morning with a profound statement. Are you ready? Every emotion is holy. Ooh. So what we see in the movie is that joy tries desperately to keep sadness away from the control panel. She believes that only joy is acceptable, and she doesn't want sadness to ruin Riley's happy memories. So the whole, a good portion of the movie, joy is trying to get sadness not to touch anything, not to mess with anything, because joy is the state that Riley needs to stay in. So in Unity, we teach that all experiences and feelings carry divine information, don't they? Our emotions are always trying to tell us something. So just like we wouldn't try to paint a masterpiece with only one color, we can't live a spiritually rich and full life with only one emotion. And I've heard a lot of people, talk about being in bliss or being in joy and just wanting to stay there and kind of chasing after that feeling. It's kind of like becomes their mission to just chase after that blissful feeling. But Charles Fillmore said that the denial of any part of our emotional life is the denial of life itself. So we're not here to deny those emotions. If we only allow joy and reject the sadness, then our joy really becomes fragile because it becomes dependent upon the circumstances of our life. And we try to avoid those things that don't bring joy. So it really we become more performative and wind up wearing a mask rather than coming from that deep inner state, that joy being a deep inner state. How many of you have ever felt like you had periods in your life where you went around wearing a mask? Everybody expected you to be happy and to be upbeat, and so that's what you put on. And unfortunately, a lot of people do that while there's a little piece inside of them that's slowly just dying, right? It's not helpful at all just to put on that performative mask of joy all the time. I once tried to be spiritually advanced by never getting angry or sad or scared. I'd wake up, I'd light a candle, I'd breathe deeply, and then someone would cut me off in traffic and I'd throw my spiritual progress out the window. It turns out that enlightenment may not happen on the interstate. Yeah. So true joy is not just cheerfulness, right? It's the soul's recognition of wholeness, even in the midst of pain. Remember that Paul was the one who said, I give thanks in every circumstance. Not for every circumstance, but in every circumstance. So even when circumstances, just as our daily word this morning alerted us that, it may seem like something we can't bear, there is that wholeness still present. Even in the midst of pain, we just have to remember it. So remember what we've been saying over the past few weeks. This has been like, you've probably, we have said this ad nauseum, and you're probably tired of hearing it, so maybe you have it by now. We are not here to bypass the human experience, but to transform through it, right? So here's a spoiler alert about the movie. It's actually sadness and not joy who winds up saving the day for Riley. So that's a little spoiler alert. And here's a real metaphysical spoiler alert. The main character is not joy, sadness, or Riley. It's the observer of it all.
Because there is a sacred self.
Yeah.
That's beyond the emotions. It's beyond your memories. It's like a witnessing consciousness that watches, learns, and grows. You are not your thoughts. Let's affirm that together. I am not my thoughts. Right? You are not your feelings. I am not my feelings. You are the Christ spirit, the Buddha nature, the Krishna consciousness, whatever word you would like to use, but you are the spirit within, right? So this idea of sadness as a sacred catalyst for connection is something that we need to remember, right? Because when you're sad, what happens is you go within and you drop inside. The key is to notice your sadness, to notice how you feel, to watch, to pay attention, to observe it, to realize that you're not the sadness, but it is something that you're feeling. You're feeling it, but it's not who you are. It's just an emotion that's passing through. How many understand that it's energy in motion? When an emotion comes, it's going to move through you. It's energy, right? So the more you can just be with it instead of judging it or trying to suppress it or push it away, and just be with it, then the sooner and the quicker it will pass through. Right? So one of the most moving scenes in the movie is when Bing Bong, which is Riley's imaginary friend, he feels heartbroken after losing his wagon. Right? It happens. So Joy tries to cheer him up with positivity. But it's sadness who sits with him, listens, and allows him to feel seen. Only then is Bing Bong able to move forward. He's able to Bing Bong, right? So, have you ever seen a mother in a grocery store with her children? Have you ever been a mother in the grocery store with your children? Well, there was one time I heard about a mom who was in the grocery store recently who gently sat down next to her 3-year-old who was losing it in aisle 9. No shushing, no yelling. She just sat and said, "I hear you. It's hard when cereal boxes don't go home with us." And that child magically started to calm down, right? How many know that when you can breathe and be still and be with, then you are being a healing presence. And people will match that vibe. They'll match that emotion. They'll match that vibration. We hang out with bitter people a lot. People, have you ever met somebody that's taken the poison pill? And they're just walking around in that stuff, right? If you're not careful, you'll pick up that poison, and then you'll begin to project that poison to others. So anyway, I got to think about this mother who, she'd make a good life coach, wouldn't she? Right? But that's what sadness does in the movie. And that's what spirit does for us. It's not cheer up, but I'm here with you in this. Because we are taught in this world, don't cry, don't get mad, don't yell, don't scream. Be quiet and sit down. How many know we've been told that? And what is the real message? What are we really being told? Your emotions don't really matter. It's all about appearances, how you look to other people. How many are getting over that? You let yourself, if you're at the movie, you don't look around before you cry. You just go ahead and cry. Right? You just go ahead and allow yourself just to be in the emotion that you're feeling in the moment. I mean, that's very powerful. You want to honor those feelings. Holding space for difficult feelings creates healing and movement. Because you can be sad, you can be with someone who's sad, and you can be with them, but your energy helps them to move the energy within them. See, you don't have to tell people what they should or shouldn't feel, right? As you are with them and you are expressive with them, then that helps them to release if there's this excessive sadness going on. I'm here with you. I'm holding space with you right now. That's what it means to hold space. If you're wondering, how can you hold space, James? Well, you just are with. Yeah. You're present. You're aware. And it's very important. Because our job as spiritual companions is not to fix, but to witness with compassion. I remember for years, I was the CEO of the universe. Did you know that? Yeah. I was Mr. Fix-It. It's always the ambulance guy, trying to do it all. And I have resigned my position. There's a vacancy there if anybody wants it. But neuroscience now shows that emotional suppression, especially of sadness, leads to anxiety, disconnection, and even physical illness. Take a breath. Aha. So when we allow ourselves to feel fully, even if it includes sadness, we gain access to emotional regulation, empathy, and real joy.
Khalil Gibran said, sadness is but a wall between two gardens. So one of the most powerful metaphysical revelations in this movie is that joy and sadness are not opposites, but they're partners in healing. They're partners in Riley's healing. So when you encounter someone in pain this week, resist the urge to cheer them up. And instead, say, I see you. I hear you. I'm here with you. And be that witness, be that compassionate witness. So emotions are the language of the soul, And each emotion plays a role in communicating soul needs. So you think about joy. Joy connects us to gratitude and presence. What about sadness? Well, it shows us what we love and grieve. Anger reveals boundaries and injustice. Fear protects us. And disgust refines our discernment. Right? So when we listen, instead of suppressing those emotions, our emotions actually point us toward healing, clarity, and truth. So remember, the emotion itself is neutral. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just neutral. It's what we do with it that determines its usefulness or its unusefulness, right? It's what we do with it. So anger can be a great motivator for a clean house. How many of you have ever gotten angry and your house sparkled afterwards? Right? Anger can also land you behind bars, right? You get to decide. When that emotion comes up, you get to decide what avenue it takes. That's when it becomes helpful or destructive. But the emotion itself is neutral.
Yeah. Well, God is not the absence of emotion. There seems to be some people that I hear, spiritual teachers that I hear, who say that emotions are not important. You know, that emotions are not spiritual. And that is simply untrue. Emotions are the is the sign or symptom of what's happening on the inside. Right? So if you want to know what's going on, you learn how to read emotions. Make sense? And God is the container that is big enough to hold all of it. All of the emotions. How big is your God? Right, Leah?
Yes.
How big is your God?
Yeah.
So our feelings don't scare God. Oh, I shouldn't have felt that way. No, you feel it. If you feel it, then it's real in the moment. Right? If you feel it, it's there.
Yep.
Spirit or God is not fragile. Right? God is all of it. All of it. How many know the best definition of all is that all means all? Right?
Yeah. So you can bring all your emotions,
all of it,
all your joy, all your grief, all your tears, all your laughter, and God can, or Spirit can, hold it all. Joy realizes at a point in the movie that she can't do it alone. She's going to have sadness partner with her to help Riley. And, you know, as I said throughout the movie, Joy clings to this belief that she alone knows best, that everything needs to be joyful, that all the memories need to be joyful. And as the story unfolds, she realizes that sadness really is playing an essential role in Riley's well-being and her decision-making skills. And this is kind of the classic egoic control dilemma. The ego wants to only feel good. It wants only happiness and success and comfort. We want to feel good. How many like to feel good? Yeah. Spirit, however, wants wholeness and awakening. Feel good when you feel good, but embrace it all. Wholeness and awakening. And sometimes the most important spiritual breakthroughs come not when you're experiencing the joy, but from the heartbreak, the confusion, the letting go of something. So a minister friend once said that his biggest spiritual growth didn't come during meditation, but it came after his transmission fell out of his car in the middle of the interstate during rush hour.
How enlightening.
That's kind of like that old, that's where the proof is in the pudding, right? How do you react to that? So spiritual growth is often disguised as inconvenience.
Inconvenience.
I sure didn't like that happened. That's sure, why am I having to go around this thing here and go over here and do this? There's a purpose in it. The ego tries to fix. Have you discovered that? The ego tries to fix and to manage. But the soul knows how to feel, how to release, and to be transformed. So, as we said, Joy's been dominating this control board. You saw it in the clip, this control board that exists. And she's determined to keep Riley happy at all costs. Sadness keeps getting sidelined. Don't touch anything. Stand there. At one point, she draws a circle and she says, stand in this circle and don't go out of this circle. She's so determined. But Joy learns that excluding sadness makes Riley emotionally numb. There's a part in the movie where she's just like not feeling anything. That's not a good place to be in, right? So Joy and sadness come to discover that Riley's core memories change color. What was a joyful memory and it's yellow, sadness will touch and it becomes blue. It becomes a sad memory. And we witness the power of reinterpretation. Remember this word because we're going to come back to it in a few minutes. So a joyful memory can take on sadness, and a sad memory can become joyful when love is added. This is emotional integration in action. It's not about controlling which emotion we have at that control panel. It's about allowing them all in balance and recognizing that together they reflect our divinity. We used to have a little group, and we joked about, if you want to be sad, be sad. If you want to be angry, but set a timer. And don't let it go beyond, set a timer for 3 minutes, experience it for 3 minutes, and move on. Don't get stuck in it. So by the end of the movie, the control console evolves, and what started out with these 5 buttons now has all of these different buttons. And instead of just having a single emotion button like anger, fear, disgust, Riley now has multi-emotional blends. Joy and sadness together, anger mixed with fear and disgust, and so on. So we see how these emotions actually can work in tandem with one another, how they integrate with one another. And it's really a symbol of spiritual maturity.
Yeah, I think so. I think, it's important to understand that everybody shows emotion differently. Because energy flows through all of us in different ways. Right? There's some people, it's like when we were in London, and we were speaking at the Unity Center of London. And the British are very quiet. They're very stoic. And so I would go into the James King version of jokes and stuff. You've heard of it maybe. And they would laugh. They go, hoo, hoo, hoo. And that was it. There were a couple of ladies who were from France, from Paris, France, who were also at the workshop. And when they laughed, they would just laugh, and one of them almost fell out of her chair laughing. Right?
Best audience he ever had.
Loved it. Loved it. I mean, it's good to have feedback, right? So but it's important to understand that different people, the energy moves through them differently. Okay? And some people, when they feel joy, it's just a calm sense of awareness. It's just, feel good. And other people, when they're happy, woohoo! Oh man, am I feeling good today, right? And then there's others that are like in between. And so it's important not to judge people for their particular kind of emotional expression. Does that make sense? Let people be who they are. Why, you just don't care. If you really cared, then you'd be emotionally and upset and angry like I am. Well, not necessarily. Different people emote differently, right?
Right.
So, it's important to remember that spiritual maturity is to be responsible for your own emotions. Let's take a breath of that. I cannot be responsible for the way you feel. Right? I can't be responsible for how Leah feels. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want.
You can't read people sometimes. Right? It happens. And so, you try to be as open, but sometimes it just doesn't come together. Energies cross, rivers collide, things happen. You understand? And so that's part of the messiness that life can be, that relationships can be. And that's also so important to our spiritual growth, to our spiritual maturity, that we learn how to be in the moment. That's it. Mm-hmm. Be in the moment with each other. Yeah. And we still love each other, whether you feel it all the time or whether you don't. Yeah. What is it? It's a choice, right?
It is. It is. So one of the practices that we can use is to not ignore or set aside those emotions, learn to integrate them. One of the things we can do is we can ask ourselves when a feeling arises questions like, what am I feeling? Because some of us don't even know or have the proper vocabulary for what we're feeling. Mm-hmm. So what am I feeling? Where do I feel it in my body? Do I feel it in my head? Do I feel it in the pit of my stomach? Where do I feel it? And what might the emotion be trying to tell me? Instead of ignoring it, what is the message that it's trying to send me? So if you were here last week, we did the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. You'll remember our fun little discussion we had about Wayman's googly eyes. How many of you took your googly eyes home and worked with them this week? All right. That was a display of metaphysical reinterpretation. It's the practice of viewing our experiences not as the ego sees them, but as spirit sees them. And that's a radical shift from judgment, where we're judging everything, to understanding. From fear to love, and from separation to unity. So Wayman's googly eyes reminded us that there's always another lens, another prism, a softer one. Remember, he was kind and compassionate, a childlike one, right? So Riley in this movie, her core memories originally lit up yellow, golden yellow by joy. They begin to shimmer with these blended colors, and especially the blue from sadness. And what seemed like a purely happy moment started to take on depth. And what seemed like pure sadness becomes an entry point to the healing and the connection. And so they hold multiple frequencies now. So there's more notes. We were going to talk about a couple other things, but we're closing in on time, so we're just going to close with this. This is a beautiful story about emotional evolution. There's an old Zen story about a man whose horse ran away. And his neighbor cried, "What bad luck!" And the man said, "We'll see." Then the horse came back with two wild horses. "Good luck," they said. "We'll see," the man replied. His son broke his leg riding one of the wild horses. "Terrible luck," said the neighbors. "We'll see," said the man. And then the army came to recruit able-bodied young men, but left his injured son behind. The point? Life is rarely just happy or sad. Remember that every emotion and every emotional season, because sometimes there's emotional seasons, they all have divine purpose. And when we welcome each of those emotions and those emotional seasons consciously, then each emotion becomes a portal to spirit. It's an unfolding journey of many emotions. And it's important to remember that all of those emotions and all of those emotional seasons are all part of the divine dance that we're here to participate in. I sat in the corner alone, watching the others on the dance floor. They seemed to be having fun, but I had a lot of excuses as to why I could not dance. I wanted to dance with them, but my fears would not let me. I sat frozen in my own self-doubt and fear of embarrassment, while the others moved gracefully in time with the music. I knew I had 2 left feet, and I could see myself sprawling on the middle of the floor. It seemed easier to sit there and just watch as the dancers were laughing and enjoying themselves. I was safely away from the movement and flow of the beat and the rhythm. And then I noticed something else. A beautiful being was moving towards me, reaching out a hand to pull me onto the dance floor. I tried to resist, but somehow I was lifted into the arms of this beautiful stranger. I looked directly into the eyes to see who it was that moved me from the comfortable place where I had been sitting. I found myself gazing into the most understanding face I had ever seen. In that second, I forgot about my fear of embarrassment and just went with the moment. Slowly at first, we began to move, gently swaying to the beat of a waltz playing somewhere in the background. Each step led to another, and then another. I could feel a rush of energy come into my being. I was so caught up in the music, I had no time to think about my movements. My eyes were focused on this beautiful stranger, and we were doing steps I never thought I could do. It suddenly dawned on me that I was dancing. I was dancing with the universe.
I hear the voice of nature beating out its song. Listen to the creatures as they sing along. Music starts to flow deep inside of me. I join in with the dance, circle the sacred tree, and I'm dancing. Yes, I'm dancing, spirit and body locked into one. Oh, I'm dancing with the universe, with Mother Nature, the moon and the sun. galaxy is swirling, you know it's dancing with the sea. The whales and the dolphins, they say, come and dance with me. Playing and laughing till the dance is done. I enter into peace now and harmony as we become one. And I'm dancing, yes I'm dancing, spirit and body now locked into one. Oh, I'm dancing with the universe, with nature, the moon and the sun. Oh, la 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 la. Oh, I'm dancing with you, and you're dancing with me. We're moving as one. Oh, I'm dancing, yes, I'm dancing. Oh, I'm dancing. What kind of emotion is coming up for you? What kind of feeling is arising out of your being? What's coming to the surface? Maybe it's a good feeling. Maybe it's a feeling of gratitude, appreciation, connection, oneness. Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's frustration. Whatever it is, it's all a signal, a symptom. It's just a notification to you of something that you want to pay attention to. Feel it, experience it. Then you can let it go and move on to the next and the next and the next. Doesn't that feel better than just stewing in your emotions, but just being with them, observing them, watching them, watching your thoughts. Thoughts will arise in your consciousness. You'll have thoughts from all different kinds of places. But none of those thoughts are really you. They're just thoughts. They have no meaning until you give them meaning. And so this morning, you're invited to go a little deeper within yourself and give yourself a little more space to breathe, to not be so quick to react to things when they happen in your life, because things happen in life, don't they? And there's so much that's going on out there we have no control on an outward level, but we do have some power on the inside. When I'm at peace, it affects the consciousness of many people. Yeah. And so this morning, if you have a prayer request, if there's someone that you're focusing on in your life that you've been praying for, I invite you to just bring them into this room. In your mind, maybe visualize them or whisper their name aloud. Maybe it's a loved one or a friend. Maybe it's your next door neighbor. Whoever it is, I invite you to bring them into this moment and hold space with them. And just allow them to be who they are. And at the same time, let us affirm their highest good. We affirm their connection with their soul, with the divine, with us, and with others. We affirm the higher good and all that that entails. And so we hold them now in appreciation and in gratitude and in love. There's a situation in your life that keeps coming up over and over again. I invite you to bring that into this moment. Maybe there's something that you need to deal with that you've been putting it off, maybe you've been waiting for the right moment. Well, maybe now's that moment. Is there someone that you need to speak to? Someone you need to forgive? Someone you need to let know how you feel? Whatever it is. We pray and we see you empowered and doing what you need to do, saying what you need to say. For you are fully equipped to be that beautiful, bright, shining light that you've come into the world to be. You have everything you need to live your purpose and to keep moving forward in a positive way. We affirm the higher good for our community, for one another, the grace, the peace, the love, the prosperity. We're grateful for each other. And we are here for one another. We are here for each other. So we bless this community, and we also bless the larger community of this world, every nation, every person, in peace, in peace. So I invite you now to hold a moment in the silence. And so now we say, thank you, God. In the name of the Christ and all that is sacred and holy. So it is. So it is. Let's take a breath. Take a moment to stretch a little bit. Feeling good. Feeling awake. Feeling alert.